Johnny, brace yourself. Brace yourself. Okay. Darth Vader wants to say something to you. Go ahead,
Johnny.
Darth.
I've got a potential topic, and I want to see if you'll jump on board with a little secret society group that I'm creating, and it's called the Run It Back Group. Is there anything that I can tell you to make you join Team Run It Back, or are you completely done?
Well, it's not much of a secret society if we're asking about, but other than that, I could, yes, of course you could. It's not even a hard sell. It's depending on the contractual situations that you're going to offer up due to this membership of this very exclusive group.
I just have to, I got to say, I was joking, and you make me sick that you're on board with this.
I don't think you are joking. Yeah. I don't think you are. I know Johnny's not.
Oh, tell me this.
Well, Johnny, let me first tell you where this originated from. I just get the sense in this market where it takes about this amount of time, which is approximately 10 days, for the Run It Back group to come alive. It's like a Michael Jackson Thriller video. They come out of the ground and they're like, it's okay, there's nothing. Like it's crazy how they want to get rid of everybody, and then 10 days later it's like, let's just run it back.
Temperature drops, move on to other things, sort of become disinterested, maybe have a little perspective. But if you were to tell me, okay, let's say John Tavares, I'm going to come back for 2 years at $4 million. Okay, so he's no longer core four. He's just your third line center. And if Mitch Marner says, okay, I'll do 7 years and 10-5.
Yeah, but Johnny, let me just interrupt with
He's
the
not
Tavares.
taking less than.
Hang on a second here. This has gone now. This is stupid. This is the oranges chat.
You're the one who came up with the secret society. I thought we were getting deals.
Well,
I know,
true.
but when it comes to Tavares, like people are attaching the dollar value to him, where it's just you have to do it at that number. But come playoff time, he's still got to go out on the ice and perform. Like that. What happens if he gets matched up against Lundell next year? He'll just get chewed up alive at 35 years old.
He won't have to, because Lundell's going to be a second-line center because Sam Bennett's going to leave, and he's going to get whoever that third-line center is, and he can handle whoever, some random, minimum guy.
But can he? We all think that.
Well, he can with the money you're going to spend on the rest of the roster, because you're going to save $7 million a year on him.
But what if the team you're playing against, that third-line center, is a bastard to play against?
Well, then, it's not, okay. Well, the point is, how are you going to? What's the alternative? You let him walk. Totally understand. I'm just. You let him walk. So now you're going to fill your second and third line center job for approximately $12 million. How is that going to happen? So I'm not saying it's the perfect solution, but it might be the best one you have available. That's sort of feasible that you could maybe work out. That's the reality. What we want to happen, what we think should happen, might not equate to what can actually happen. And that is, you can go get Matt Duchene. No, he's not going to come here. But, Michael Granlund to be your second-line center, and Tavares. These are the options you have. Brock Nelson, who's 34, and you're going to give him 6 or 7 years to be your second-line center. And I like Brock Nelson. I don't know if that's a better alternative. There's not a lot of other guys out there. So, I'm on team, no, change is necessary. But if you start evaluating the market and what's out there, especially with Tavares, and he's willing to take a deal that's well below his market value because he wants to stay in this market, he specifically would be someone you think about just third-line centerman. He wins 60% of his face-offs. You're not counting on, I know Florida does, but generally speaking, you don't count on your third-line center to get more than maybe 20 goals and maybe 45 points. He would obviously vastly outproduce that, and maybe even in the playoffs he gets half a point a game, would vastly outproduce usual third-line centerman. You got to adjust what we think he is to what he actually would be, which would be a depth contributor, which he probably would be pretty good at for a couple of years. Now, I don't want to give him 4 years or 5 years because he's not going to be as good 4 years, 5 years now, but if you can get it short, I think that's a conversation you got to have.
Well, I think the way you're saying that is the way I could see Brad Treliving saying it or seeing it, and I think why stop there?
Then you would
accurate. Well, and then you just continue with Marner, because ultimately what would end up happening, what has happened here the last 3 or 4 years, and I think in the end is what got Shanahan, is it wasn't an obsession to win, it was being terrified of losing, and If you're terrified of losing, you keep these guys.
That is very liberal use of language to suggest that Brendan Shanahan was not obsessed to win, and he was scared of losing. Like,
Then why did they just keep bringing him back then? What's your explanation?
Because he believed differently than you. That's why, flat out. Now, he was wrong, but and that's fair to say. He was wrong to believe that this core, with this group at this time, would be good enough to do it. He was wrong. But to suggest he did it because he was, he's like happy to be a 100-point team and not worried about getting a third round, that's not who these guys are. That's not who he is.
Really? Really, Johnny? We think everyone's uber obsessed and crazy? I don't. I mean, paint me cynical, but I'm not.
So you don't think that multiple-time Stanley Cup champion, Hall of Famer, who took this job in his hometown, was obsessed with trying to win?
I think he desperately wanted to win. I think he desperately wanted to win.
Okay, so what are you talking about?
I think he loved his job, too. I think a lot of people love their jobs.
Sure.
We say it all the time. Guys are always like, oh, just trade those picks. I'll be gone by the time. Like, guys think about their keeping the job. Like, guys that happens sometimes. Like, we cannot be, you cannot be that naive.
You can't be naive. No.
Yes, to think that, everyone in the league is just so upset, and I'm willing to gamble with my whole life and career to go for it, or I can take this route, and I have a great life for the next decade. Really? I don't think so, man.
Yeah,
I don't think that's, and I'm not saying that's 100% the case with Shanahan. And again, I think you're misinterpreting what I'm saying in a way. It's the idea that if Marner leaves and Tavares leaves, that's terrifying because they might get significantly worse and miss. And I don't know if I want to live